Welcome back to the deep dive. This is the place where we really try to get under the skin of the big ideas shaping our world.
And today, we're tackling a real marketing heavyweight, Seth Godin's Purple Cow.
Yeah, a classic. But the question we're asking is, does it still hold up? The book came out in 2003, arguing be special was the key.
Exactly. So our mission today is to figure out what special really looks like, well, now in 2025. Is that Purple Cow idea still relevant, or has it sort of faded?
Because back then, the world was, let's be honest, pretty different. Marketing felt simpler in a way.
Oh, definitely. Mass market stuff. Think TV ads, billboards, radio spots. You basically paid for attention. Big budgets meant big reach.
Right. And Godin came along and said, hang on, why spend all that money talking about a boring brown cow?
His point was, if your product is just like everyone else's, no amount of shouting is going to make people genuinely care.
But if you create something truly different, a purple cow,
Then people stop. They notice. And crucially, they talk about it. The product becomes the marketing message. It's inherently remarkable.
I always loved that idea. It felt like it gave power back to the product itself, Less about the ad spend.
And more about the actual innovation.
Yeah.
Stop stressing about the budget. Start stressing about making something genuinely unique. It was a huge wake-up call.
It really shifted focus from just pushing messages to building remarkability right into the offering.
And we saw some great examples back then that really proved the point. Remember the first IMAX?
Oh, yeah. Those colors, everything else was just beige boxes.
Exactly. They weren't just selling specs. They were selling difference. Pure aesthetic differentiation. It was startling.
Or think about Starbucks. It wasn't just about the coffee itself initially, was it?
Not entirely. It was that third place concept, a specific experience, somewhere comfortable between home and work. That was their unique angle, the atmosphere.
Right, the location, the vibe.
JetBlue, too, in the airline space. Budget travel was usually pretty grim. But they came in with, leather seats, live TV, a bit more personality. They differentiated by zigging, where everyone else zagged on the experience of flying cheap.
So that philosophy, it really pushed brands to think harder about, well, how are we actually different? Not just saying it.
It absolutely did. It changed the conversation.
Okay, but fast forward. If everyone read that book, and every brand for the last 20 years has been trying desperately to be unique, doesn't that create a new problem?
Bingo. That's the core issue we're diving into. Would the iMac just being colorful still be a purple cow today? Probably not.
It feels like the bar is much higher.
Much higher. The original examples worked partly because they were relatively early movers in this kind of thinking. We're facing what some sources are calling a saturation crisis.
A saturation crisis, okay.
The whole context has shifted. The old ways of being special just don't land the same way.
All right, let's unpack that. You mentioned 4 big challenges to the old model. What's the first one? That feeling of just too much.
Yeah, exactly that. Challenge number 1 is the saturation of creativity. It's almost paradoxical.
How so?
Well, everyone is trying so hard to be different, to be weird, to stand out. The tools are there. Design software, easy video creation, platforms designed for viral content.
Right. The barrier to entry for making something look unique is basically gone.
Pretty much. So we're just bombarded constantly with strange ads, quirky products, off-the-wall campaigns. The irony is when everyone tries to be wildly different.
It all just becomes noise. Everyone's shouting, so you can't hear anyone.
Precisely. Trying too hard to be unique often just makes you blend into this massive crowd of other tryhards.
Okay, so even if you somehow manage to cut through that noise, which sounds incredibly difficult, you immediately face challenge number 2, right? Which is about our attention spans, or lack thereof.
Or complete lack thereof, yeah. Attention spans have just evaporated.
Yeah.
Think about scrolling through TikTok or Reels. How long does anything hold your focus?
Seconds? Maybe.
Exactly. So even if a product or campaign achieves that viral purple cow moment, it might trend for, half a day? Maybe 24 hours if it's huge.
And then it's gone. On to the next shiny thing.
Right. Creating any kind of lasting impact, building durable awareness for that initial flash of uniqueness, it's become incredibly hard. Uniqueness is temporary now, almost disposable.
And it feels like the players have changed, too. It's not just big brands anymore.
That's challenge number 3. The competition, especially from smaller brands, looks totally different.
How has that changed things?
Well, platforms and algorithms have kind of leveled the playing field in a way. A small niche brand, maybe a candle maker operating out of their garage, with just a tiny ad budget, maybe a few $100,
Yeah.
can sometimes get the same initial visibility spike as a massive corporation.
Because the algorithm picks them up or they hit a nerve with a small community.
Yeah, they can achieve that first hit of specialness. But the problem is, there are so many of these small players now, all vying for attention, converting that initial spark into something sustainable, like real market share or loyalty.
Much harder. For everyone, even the little guys who get that first break.
Exactly. Visibility is easier to get momentarily, but durability is way harder to achieve.
Which brings us to the fourth challenge, the elephant in the room, I guess. AI. Artificial intelligence in marketing. How does that muddy the purple cow waters?
Oh, profoundly. AI, especially generative AI tools like Midjourney, DALL-E for images, AI video tools, even AI for writing copy.
You're everywhere now.
And they make creating unique-looking stuff incredibly easy and cheap. You don't need to be a design genius or a brilliant copywriter to generate something that looks visually distinct or sounds original, at least on the surface.
So that unique aesthetic the iMac had, AI can mimic that kind of differentiation almost instantly.
Pretty much. If a machine can automate your special look in 5 minutes for pennies, then that kind of surface-level uniqueness has almost zero competitive value anymore. It's been commoditized.
Wow. So sheer uniqueness, just looking different, it's not the answer.
It can't be. The focus has to shift. It has to go deeper than just appearance. It needs to be about creating real, lasting value, genuine human connection.
Okay, so the fundamental idea, if you're not special, you're invisible, that still holds true.
Oh, absolutely. I think that's timeless. If you blend in, you lose.
Mhm.
But
But the definition of special has evolved. Dramatic.
exactly, it's mutated. It's no longer about that momentary shock, like, whoa, a purple cow. It's about building something much more durable. A relationship, really.
So the philosophy's intact, but the execution, the how, that's completely different.
Totally. The old model was maybe more product-focused visual shock. The new model, let's call it Purple Cow 2.0, it's got to be centered on the human experience, on loyalty.
Right, so let's dive into that. What does this Purple Cow 2.0 look like? You mentioned pillars, sort of the updated rules for differentiation.
Yeah, we can think of it as 4 key pillars for building that deeper, lasting specialness.
Okay, what's pillar number 1?
Pillar 1, focus intensely on the human experience.
Ah.
Differentiation today isn't just about looking different. It has to feel different to the customer.
Feel different. How? What does that mean in practice?
It means engineering a specific emotional response. It could be through things like radical transparency, maybe unexpected vulnerability from the brand, hyper-personalized service that makes the customer feel genuinely seen.
Like anticipating a need before they even voice it.
Exactly.
But-
Or having customer support that isn't just a fiction but actually feels, well, human and caring. It's about the interaction, the relationship, often after the sale. Minimizing friction, maximizing feeling valued.
That sounds much harder to just copy than a color scheme.
It is. It requires genuine organizational commitment. And that feeling, that connection, it fuels pillar number 2, community-driven marketing.
Community. That word comes up a lot now.
Because it's critical. In 2025, a unique product isn't enough on its own. You need to build an active, engaged community around the brand or product.
So the users become advocates.
Yes, and defenders and discussion starters. The community itself becomes a massive differentiator. It creates belonging, shared identity, and importantly, if the community is strong.
It keeps the brand relevant even when attention inevitably drifts elsewhere. It provides that durability.
Precisely. The community becomes the engine that outlasts those fleeting viral moments.
But hang on, focusing so hard on a core community, doesn't that risk shutting out the wider market, making the brand too niche?
That's a valid tension. But the argument for Purple Cow 2.0 is that deep loyalty within a niche is often more valuable now than shallow appeal to the masses, which leads directly to Pillar 3, micro-branding success.
Meaning small can be beautiful or powerful.
Both, potentially. Smaller brands or specialized lines within bigger companies can absolutely achieve Purple Cow status today if their differentiation is super targeted and genuinely purposeful.
Not just different for difference's sake.
No, it needs what some call a sticky value proposition.
Yeah.
Something truly useful. Solving a specific problem for a specific group in a way that's hard for others to replicate easily. You serve that niche exceptionally well.
Build that community around that specific purpose.
And you achieve durable specialness, even if your total market size isn't enormous.
Okay, that makes sense. be the absolute best solution for a smaller, passionate group. But how do brands figure out what that specific purpose should be or ensure their idea actually connects, especially with AI making creativity easier and attention spans shorter?
Right, great question. That leads us to the final pillar, number 4, data plus creativity.
Ah, the analytics side.
You can't just rely on a gut feeling or a cool creative idea anymore. The new purple cow needs deep analysis. You have to
Yeah.
really understand customer behavior, their intent, what they're talking about in the community forums, their pain points.
So the data guides the creative. It tells you where your unique effort will actually matter most.
Exactly. Analytics aren't just for looking back at campaign results. They're crucial for discovery, finding those genuine human needs that your brand is uniquely positioned to meet. The creative spark is still essential, but data is the fuel. It ensures your specialness is relevant and resonant.
So boiling it down, it feels like what we're actually craving as consumers now is authenticity, real connection. And maybe that's the thing AI can't easily fake.
I think that's a perfect synthesis. True specialness in 2025 is about building trust and loyalty, not just grabbing eyeballs for a second. It's moving from look how different my product looks to feel how much we actually understand and value you. Product-centric to experience-centric.
That's the core shift.
So the brands that really manage to weave together that deep experience, the compelling story, and that active community, they are the purple cows of today.
They absolutely are. They've gone beyond just being noticed to being genuinely valued, becoming part of their customers' lives.
So the purple cow isn't dead. Not at all. The core philosophy, be special or be ignored, is probably more true than ever. But the how has changed. It demands that focus on community, on the human experience, and using data, and yes, even AI, strategically to deliver something genuinely meaningful, not just superficially different.
This has been really insightful. It's clear differentiation isn't just about being loud anymore. It's about being resonant, deeply relevant.
Moving beyond features to feelings, really. Earning dedication through genuine connection and sustained value.
Which brings us to a final thought for you, listening right now. Think about it. What was the last true purple cow that you encountered?
Yeah, what product, what service, what brand really made you stop, pay attention, maybe even stick around?
And when you think of that example, ask yourself, was it just about grabbing attention? A fleeting novelty, a cool design, a funny ad?
Or was it something deeper?
Yeah.
Was it built on a genuinely better experience, a sense of community, a feeling of loyalty that lasted beyond that first impression?
Because that difference, that's where everything is heading. Food for thought.